Awesome. We are live. Thank you so much for jumping on, Alex. It's great to have you. I saw that lamp on Twitter. It was so cute. Where did you get that from?
In TK Maxx.
Really?
Yeah, but it's problematic because the paint is not like regular, so it's kind of annoying. And I think it would be super cute on like the wall, but there is
Yes.
no like super cute on the wall. But you know that the on off switch is here, so when you put it on the wall, there is
Yeah,
no way to like.
that's true. You'll
So
have to,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's it.
enough.
That's it.
More than enough.
But thank you so much for coming on today. And what a note to start our podcast on with the cute lights and the candles. I love it. How's your week going so far?
I'm just stressed because of the wisdom teeth removal.
Yeah, I get that. I
Just
get that.
trying to survive to that moment, and then I will try to survive after this.
You got this. You got this. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for jumping on today. Before we get started, I always ask my guests to introduce themselves because I feel like you will do the best job explaining
Yeah.
what you do. Hmm.
So I started around like 15 years old from coding, like Ruby
Hmm.
on Rails and JavaScript. And then I get more into like UX and customer experience part of stuff. So I switched and was mixing that two skills. So for the past like 10 years, I was working as UX specialist, focusing on strategy and research, like doing UI and like design stuff more for fun rather than like work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's required w- because it's specific of the market. But yeah, I would never think that I will co-found design agency. But yeah, so I co-found Bake Design last year, and this year I bring to life Uncover Lab.
Mhm.
So yeah, here I am. That's me.
Awesome. And Bake Design is a 1 million ARR agency, right?
It is, yes.
That's amazing. When did you guys hit that goal? And how did Uncover Labs come about? Was that because you saw a need at Bake Design, or was that a completely different side project?
So that's a different topic. So when
Okay.
Bake Design hit, I believe it was March or April or June. April or June.
Okay.
May, April, May, June. That could be May, I
Okay.
believe. So after, okay, I will tell you a little background story. So when I joined X, I was tweeting more about UX stuff, was trying to find my place here,
Mm-hmm.
and I found like a building public community, and it was completely different space back then. Like Twitter was completely different place.
Yeah.
So somehow around the comments, probably same as we do meet with Nick. So he was like doing more UI stuff, sharing like UI roast stuff like
Mm-hmm.
this. I started roasting him because I was like, well, maybe we can do it a little bit more fun. Then we
Yeah.
started to talk about like dogs and life over DMs, and one day I shoot him, what about mixing our experiences that are completely different,
Mm-hmm.
and doing Get Bake together. And Get Bake at that point was roast service for indie hackers. We were doing like website roasts for $75, $100,
Right.
and it was just, it hits and smash the Twitter space so badly because there was a lot of developers and not too much designers in the space. So then we did like so many roasts, and back then I was still at my 9 5, so I was mixing this, and At some point we started to get more requests like, okay, could you design an app, could you design app screens or flow or something like this, and it was like, for
Mm,
me it was like green light in my head, and I was like, yes. We are ready to scale this.
yeah.
Because it was big problem, because we had no clue how to price that, because on the one side Get Bake was saying, okay, you get the roast for $150 at that point, so how
Mhm.
we should price this? 150 per screen. So this is what we do, but screens, as a screen you can have a dashboard with error message,
Yeah,
dashboard with notification, dashboard with this, dashboard with this, and
correct.
you finish with 50 screens. So kind of weird.
Yeah.
So subscription model was for super long in my head, but we started with thinking about like fixed prices. But with the people that we had in our network, the people that was finding us, it was still more indie hackers on the transform to entrepreneurship. So they already, like, they are not starting in
Right.
the indie hackers, so they needed to have money to pay for for
Right.
the
Right.
service.
Yeah.
So it was a long way. I remember Nick was like, I don't believe in this. And I was like, no, 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 we're building a website. So we closed our first client for Bake subscription,
Mhm.
design subscription agency. We closed in July last year.
Okay. That's very recent
Yes. So, and we hit 1 million
this year.
ARR this year, May or June.
It's less than a year because it
Yes,
was
it's
July and April. That's insane.
yes.
That's awesome. How many people are on the team right now?
So until November last year, it was only two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started hiring, and we have one UX person
Mm-hmm.
from my previous team. We have three product designers.
Mm-hmm.
We have front end dev. We have framer dev, and two brand designers.
Got it. It's
I
around.
think I recall everyone. And we have also copywriter, but copywriter is more like he is more like freelancer, because
Mm-hmm.
our designers are working, like six of them is a full time and one girl is part time. Copywriter is more like when there is like need for a copy, he work with us. So it's more like in that
Got
sense.
it.
So eight people plus copywriter.
Got it. Okay, so it's like below 10. It's a relatively small team, right?
Yes, it is. It is.
Got it. And all
Easy
of
to
you,
handle.
sorry?
Easy to handle still.
Yeah, yeah. Efficient, small, and just very agile. You guys can move fast. That's
Yeah.
awesome. How did you, and I know that Nick is not in the same geographical area. I think you
Mhm.
touched on it before we started recording. You guys have never met. How is it working with a co-founder that you've never met? And do you feel like there are unique challenges that come with it? Or is it's not really, it doesn't make a difference right now because everyone works remote?
Actually, I think it's great. And I think it's actually works great for me. So,
Yeah.
my first side gig was Uncover UX, and it was knowledge sharing platform for UX designers, like
Okay.
regular seniors, like basically UX knowledge, crossing with business. And it was like Instagram account, and then I started creating like playbooks, and then to scale this, that's why I joined Twitter. But
Ah, okay.
but life had different plans. So, and I started at first with my friend because we were just frustrated at work. No one wanted to listen to us, so we started to create like Instagram. And at some point, like, we knew each other for a year because we were working together at the same company. I think we are good friends, but our collab didn't went well because we had completely different style of working. I'm more in, like, let's say, I wouldn't say I'm in the founder mode like all the time, but I'm in the creation mode all the
Yeah.
time. So I I need to create,
Mm-hmm.
because if I will not create, I will be sick probably.
No.
Bless you. And she wanted to, I wanted to scale it. She was okay with what it was and even take it more easy. So we
Mm,
split. And it's hard when it comes to creating something with person you know, and when your like working style doesn't match, because it might affect your friendship, your connection, your anything like this. And it's not cool. I believe it was nice experience for both of us, but at some point it was hard and frustrating, so not cool. So I believe our connection with Nick needs a lot of trust, but I don't
mhm.
know, somehow as we talk, I trusted him. I believe he trusted me, I hope. And it's just working. Like for me, it's perfect that through the day, no one is interrupting me and I can focus on my stuff. But still, I know I'm talking with him probably in the morning, for sure in the evening, and that's it. And it's great. Do we have challenges? No, because the business model is super simple. We do sales call, they pay, and they get started. So we don't interrupt each other. We don't work with the same clients. It's always me or him taking care of the client, because we don't want to chaos on the project. And
Yeah.
always when there is like more than one person engaged, there will be chaos in terms of communication. So let's say if Nick is working with a client and client needs UX help, he messaged me and saying,
Mm,
okay, this guy need a help. And I'm like, okay, I will take it from there. So he somewhere else taking care of other
yeah.
client, and I'm just focused on that client. And that's it. So it makes it easier for us.
Makes sense.
Because with different business model, that could be impossible. But with our,
Right.
oh,
That makes sense. From what you were saying, like a couple points just jumped out to me. You're so right in saying that you could be friends with someone, you could be great friends with someone, but once you start working with them, especially in the capacity of co-founders, you kind of realize, no, I doesn't match.
you are no longer like, when you start to work with someone, you are no longer a friend. It's more like a marriage, but in different
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
And it's hard if something is not going right and you have completely different perspective. It's just like going through the divorce.
yeah, yeah. That's true. That is true.
And this is super hard, and this it's completely changing the way of your relationship with that person. So you are somehow affected and you are
Yeah,
somehow it's weird. It's not for everyone. Like founding like co-founder is super hard, so I'm glad with us it worked out.
yeah.
So yeah,
Mhm. When
I
you were
think,
talking, go ahead.
please ask question.
Oh no, what I was saying is when you were talking about how you and Nick divide the work between yourselves and when someone has an issue or when you have to step in, there's this understanding that Nick is going to take a step back and work on a different client. Was that unspoken understanding that both of you had from the very start, or was it like you made a couple mistakes and then there were some clients where there was too much chaos and you're like, "Oh no, let's make this a conscious decision that if one is involved, the other one is not involved."
I think it was understanding from very beginning. We had few situations that me or him didn't feel comfortable with specific client, like with the way they work. So we asked each other, like, could you please take care of this client?
Mm,
Because I don't feel this, yes. But I don't know. We for sure made like a lot of mistakes. And I believe it was different when we started because there was less client. But from the very beginning, we tried to split the work between ourselves, because we have
Mm,
great preparation, and I think this is something that we struggle with when we hire for a team, because when you are at bake there is like huge amount of context switching, and when we started we were building Get Baked, we were designing, roasting like 3 hero on the Twitter per day, plus doing like 2 redesigns for like clients.
mm,
And we were at the peak of context switching, and we were prepared for what coming with Bake. That's why that was possible for us to work, for example, at 8 clients at the same time, and it
mm,
wasn't that hard. So we were prepared, but
mm.
we noticed when we started hiring that for people is not that normal.
Yeah.
For me it was normal from the very beginning, because I never believe in like being focused for the whole day on 195. So there was even time in my life when I have 495s, and I was like, okay, like 2 hours here, 2 hours here, oh, meeting, okay, I will make a work for the other client.
Yeah.
So for me kind of natural, for Nick same, but we noticed when we started hiring that for people it might be too much, and finding like a good pick for our studio
Mm-hmm.
is hard. We
Mm.
made it, but it's hard. So even since the simple clients, we were like, okay, do you want to work on this? Yes, okay, I will take this. So
Mm.
the whole journey from Get Baked to creation of Baked Studio to like what we are right now, I
Mm.
believe all of this prepare us to how we work and coexist
Okay,
with each other right now. But everything comes like really natural.
that's very cool. When I like that you touched on hiring and how it's difficult because of context switching. How do you screen for that when you're in the hiring process? How do you understand that, oh, this person might be a good fit versus this person?
So the most important thing is so we have specific style of hiring, but I see this all over the Twitter. So normally one of us ask like, we are looking for, please share for highlight of your work. So it's always pain to go through everything.
Yeah.
So 80% of people are juniors. I
Hmm.
have nothing against juniors. Juniors are great. They can provide so much value, and but you need to be responsible for them and provide a value to them, which is not that easy and impossible at Baked.
Yeah.
If we would be normal agency, I would be happy to have one junior to
Yeah.
take care of. But it's completely different topic, and it's not for Baked. Or people that have similar work that are currently trending, or maybe with
Mm.
that is well execute or very bad execute, but this is the 90% or 80% that instantly go to the trash. Sorry for this, but this is how it looks like. So
Yeah.
we see few people that stand out, so they have interesting work, there is like difference in their work, so you can see that, for example, if Matt company will come to us and will need a website of product, they will be able to handle Met style. If Web3 will come, they will be able to understand Web3. If there will be AI, like understanding of trends and being trendy is one thing, but understanding like commercial design is another thing. So we need to see that someone will be able to handle variety of the clients. So that's the biggest thing. So I'm super picky about like typography, composition,
Mm.
colors, accessibility, and stuff like this on the first side. But literally our last hiring, I review, I believe, over 100 portfolios, and 80% of them was just blurry with each other because they
Mm,
look exactly the same. And this is the biggest pain. Like, okay, something is trendy, but it's cool, you can match the trend, but from the perspective of commercial work, it's not a thing, because then you take that
yeah.
person and they can match the let's say the standards of client work. So we pick people that we like. We talking with each other. Okay, I like this, I like this, Nick like this and this, so probably we have at least one match,
Mm,
or two match. So then we talk with that person over DMs and propose, for example, 2 weeks trial period in
okay.
Vegas is like normally paid gig. So, and by by a week or 2 weeks we
You
can
know.
already see
Yeah.
if someone match the company or not,
Mm,
and match our like style of work.
yeah.
And we had a lot of hate because from the very first hire, we were
Mm,
super open that we are into fast hire and quick fire, if someone is not a match. And people hate on us so badly that
mm,
how you can fire someone after 2 or 3 days, because we can see.
yeah.
And I was like, what's wrong with people? It's not full-time job, it's not
Yeah.
like contract, it's freelancing. There is like it's nothing like we offer specific service, and our
Yeah.
service is the day you pay, the day you start. After 2 days you get the first results.
True.
It's easy. So if someone can deliver something after 2 days, or share the work that is not ready to be shared,
Yeah. Yeah. That
it's
makes
not
sense.
a match. And it's nothing wrong with this, because that person will might be great designer, probably is great designer,
But
but
not a
not to
pet.
our business model. So
Yeah.
why frustrate, why to hate each other? Just
Yeah.
like leave it, and
It's
move forward.
the whole point of it is to figure out if they're a good match for you, not to decide if they're a good designer or a bad. Those are two different questions.
Yes.
They're two different criteria. And I like the way you focused on stay know the trends, but also make sure you are designing for the client and bringing their unique perspective or their unique industry viewpoint into the light, because that's such a big part of branding. I feel when people talk about branding, the two big components is the brand voice, how it sounds, and that comes from marketing and copywriting and all of that, and then how it looks and feels. That part of the brand comes from design. So it's kind of a marrying those two components, and it needs to
Yes.
make sure that it shines through. That
Yes.
makes a lot of
Also, a lot of designer has the unique style that they just want to work in that style, and it's
sense.
totally fine. It's totally okay, and they for sure will find the clients that match their style. But our business is based on our personal brands, so
Yeah,
clients come from our account. So they rather come from my style or Nick's style,
yeah,
or our style mixed
yeah,
together.
yeah.
So this is big factor, that sometimes you may think, well, we're doing like commercial design, you need to like detach from your brain
Mm,
the word ugly,
right. Yeah,
because something might be ugly but might be good design, and this is big difference.
yeah.
And this is a big lesson that I believe a lot of designers needs to learn,
Mm,
because if something is ugly but every, like, let's say design rule is on point and it's working, it's
yeah,
good design.
yeah, yeah. That
so
makes sense.
so for example, you might hate Ahrefs design,
Mm,
you might think like everything is too big, too long, I
mm,
don't know, composition is like kind of weird, but
yeah,
it works.
yeah, yeah.
It works.
I like that.
And this is very visible with all the big brands changing their branding, that whenever someone change, everyone hates it. And
Yeah.
they all hate it because it's normal part of user experience that
Yeah.
if you are used to something,
Yeah.
you like it and you think this is the best. And this is
Mhm.
what happened with Figma. This is what happened like in the past with Instagram, Sketch, like with everyone basically.
Yeah.
But it's part of the process. So
True.
so you need to match that style and you need to just
Yeah.
get into that design system.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's such an important point that you said just because it's you think it's ugly doesn't mean it's good design because most people when they think of design, they think of making it look pretty versus their like accessibility, how easy it is to use, how intuitive it is, and what is the user experience when it comes to understanding the product. All of that goes into design if I'm not wrong, correct?
Yes. Also, the biggest factor that of user experience is when you're building product, the best thing you can do is create an experience that your target audience already know. And there is no sense of inventing the wheel from scratch because probably you most likely fail.
Yeah.
So because if user know how to drop the file in
Mm.
specific way,
Why? Why?
don't try to find another way they will need to drop a file. You
Yeah.
have simple rectangle with a with dotted line, with
Mm.
image and small text. Just leave it. Just do it like this. Whenever it's different, they will be confused.
Yeah.
You don't want them confused because they will be frustrated. If
Yeah.
they are frustrated, they probably churn. And also, it's big thing in text of context, like of cost switching, because if
Mm.
you are on already like market that has high traffic, let's say,
Mhm. Yeah.
the cost switching of users that are on different platform is big because they already have their own environment, they know how to use the
Correct.
platform and
Yeah.
stuff like this. So even if you have better program, better algorithm,
Mhm.
better whatever, but you will change the experience, it will be
Yeah.
almost impossible to switch them.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you
That.
want to build second Uber, just take an experience from Uber and just like change the branding and change that stuff.
Yeah.
Change a little bit, but keep the
The
experience for
experience.
the user and for the drivers same.
Yeah.
The best
I
thing
get
you can
it.
do for them.
That makes sense. Is that also one of the metrics you look at when you do a redesign? Like, for example, once a client comes in and then you do the redesign, what are the metrics you look for? Or what are the metrics the client looks for to say, yeah, this redesign worked in our favor? This was a success.
I don't think we are with the clients that long that we hear that design work or not. For us, we work with the early stage startups, so they
Yeah.
have nothing yet, or they need a redesign. So I think at their point, at let's say MVP point, they are not ready to set like metrics
Benchmarks.
for design. But what we do, so client come to us. So we started with research, visual research, and market research
Mm-hmm.
um, on the product to see with what we compete, what competitors offer, how competitors position themselves, what is the experience from the competitor's perspective. Then we map what client has at that point,
Mm-hmm.
and we compare it with product, we compare it with well-known experience for the target group, because something might be new, for example with AI. So with AI you need to be transparent, you need to be clear, because it might be confusing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. It's kind of different, like it's different way of building experience for the users with AI, because it gives you different features that before
Yeah.
we didn't think about, like
Yeah.
for example dictation, recommendation, tips and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
different. So the best thing you can do is to gather as much information from the client about target audience,
Mhm.
or the ideal customer profile, gather information from Google, social media, anything like this, talking with people around you, about the target audience, what they used to, what they are into, stuff like this, and what competitors are, they references, shows, and how they look. And then we are going into like design process, like flow design, wireframing, and finding visual direction. So I wouldn't say we have metrics, but we trying to gather as much data as possible at this stage.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. And I liked how you were looking at, the competitors and trying to figure out what the process, what the experience looks like and all of that. And I also like that you mentioned AI, which leads me to my next question is AI is changing a lot of the workflows we know today, right?
Mhm.
It's making it a lot more simpler. For example, everything now can be like chat based with agents coming in, you just give voice commands. With change of the workflows, how is it impacting designs? Are you now looking at new workflows and going like, okay, this is different from workflows that we were designing for before, and now we have to take this new experience into consideration while building, or it's not that prevalent and it's not impacting your work right now?
I think like since we started Baked, most of our clients were AI clients, so it's kind of natural. It was like with Web3. Web3 also changed
Yeah.
the way we design interactions, interfaces, experiences. So it was all about transparency, so people can get used to it and have clear information. Kind
Yeah.
of same with AI. AI is more like friendly. People might be scared. Like the thing you need to, I believe, most think about in your head when designing for this is
Mm-hmm.
to not scare people with too much AI. So that AI is helpful, but is not taking the
Over.
whole um, experience. So, for example, I really like the way how Tsering with Macau
Mm.
do it,
Yeah.
because it's super smart usage of AI, that they gather data, they analyze data with AI, and they have Marty that is going with you through the whole experience, and he is talking with you. So you don't have a feeling that AI is talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have custom experience, and that's the touch. Because notice how people get mad when they need to talk with AI agent over the phone or on the chat. So
Yeah.
AI will not solve your issues,
Mm-hmm.
um, especially very specific issues.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, for example, I need to be like super pissed or super confused to
Mm-hmm.
message on the chat. And probably if I message on the chat me as Alex,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk with AI because I probably have already all the information. Same with you
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you message that on the chat, you want real person to talk with you that
Correct.
will solve your problem or answer your question. And this is very delicate topic, how to use AI to
Yeah.
be actually helpful and
Yeah.
friendly
Yeah.
and not frustrate user,
Yeah.
because from trying to build something cool, it might be the biggest pain for the user.
Yes, I agree. There needs to be a balance between how much AI is being used and how much human touch is being used in the process.
Yes, I also think like Notion, when Notion introduced AI, that
Hmm.
was pain. Like I really like Notion.
Yeah.
Most of like Uncover UX, like every Uncover UX product was built on Notion. I really like Notion. Like I was Notion fan. I hate Notion right now. They pissed me because from simple platform they started to create something extra complex. the way when they introduce AI, so AI is supposed to make your life easier, but why when I write 2 comments, they want more money from me? I already paying for the
Yeah.
pro account.
Yeah. Why is
Please.
that extra thing there? Like it's just
Yeah,
bells and whistles at this point.
exactly. So that was my thing. And that's why I started to hate Notion. Then also they bought like Cron calendar, and that was like I was like, bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
What do you think about ConvertKit? They recently changed to kit.com, and that's a whole branding thing, but still like design wise and all of that. What do you think of how they've done?
I think too radical,
Hmm.
kinda.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, but when I saw the redesign and how they changed this, I just wanted to use ConvertKit at this point, and I was like, okay, I'm into it. I will do newsletter for Uncover Lab, and Uncover and ConvertKit will be the way. And
Yeah.
they introduced the change, and I was like, huh? Why it look like a cheap version of TikTok?
Yeah. I saw the landing page and that was my first. I was like, is this a newsletter website? Like that was my first reaction. I thought it was like a, video editor or like reels generator sort of thing. That was
Yes,
my first reaction to it.
because previously it was super clear what they offer. Right now, I,
It's
I
not.
think it's cool that they trying to show more like people that use ConvertKit and how successful they are. It's
Mhm.
cool to show user stories. It's
Yeah.
great. But on the other side, when you enter the website, you just want to know what they do, not like what other people accomplish because you are at the
Yeah.
first stage. Like you just joining. You don't even have one subscriber. I get it.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, I don't know. I'm not into like newsletter world. I don't know how. I know that they are pretty big player,
Yeah.
but are they known that well to change from ConvertKit to Kit?
Mhm.
That's my
A good
issue.
question. Yeah, that's a good question. But I also liked how you said it when I'm at step one or step zero, it shows me step 100, which is great. But at the same time, I'm like overwhelmed now because I'm like, I'm 100 steps away from what
Yes,
success looks like. Whereas the first success is just crafting a very good newsletter and sending it to one subscriber. That's my first success. But all that is kind of ignored and it shows me step 100. And now I'm like, I have to climb so high to
yes.
feel like I've done something
And
useful.
probably most people will not be able to do it.
Yeah.
I also about ConvertKit because I can see they are blue now. They were pink, right?
Yeah. Pink or orange, I think.
Something like this. So that's another big thing that I'm into small changes. So okay, change the name from ConvertKit to Kit, but slow, like
Yeah. Yeah.
slowly.
Yeah. Don't dump everything on me at once.
Yes,
Yeah. I saw the website and I was like, am I on the right website? Because first of all, I thought it was TikTok and then the color was different and then I read it and I was like, oh, it's still a newsletter platform, so maybe I'm in the right place. And then I found like their, release that said, oh, we're Kit now. So then I was like, oh, I'm in the right place. So first I was like
exactly.
lost. Yeah.
But just finishing the topic about they showing like big players, it's like when people saying on X, oh, I lost all the motivation when I
Mhm.
see drop in my reach.
Yeah.
For example, I don't even check my analytics because I just want to have fun
Yeah.
from what I do, and I just want to be there for friends, to share my journey, to have fun, of course, to make money, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
But I'm not surprised. Like a lot of people is sharing. like, oh, my tweet went viral, I get 6 million views.
Mm,
Cool. And then the whole month is about that person hit 6 million views. Like, it's good.
mm,
But on the other hand, I'm not surprised that people are not motivated to post if they have like 100 views or 200 views. It's so like, for
yeah,
me, people that have like slow and stable views like grow. So for
yeah,
example, they growing like 5 followers by month, and they are still active, and they are still coming there, and they still supporting
yeah.
other
That is
people from the community. They are heroes, like real
yeah,
heroes.
yeah. That is true.
It's like
Because
different mindset.
that is true. Because now they're only thinking about action and they're not thinking about the result, which is
Yes.
great. That's what is in your control. And I like that you brought up the wins and losses piece of it, because that brings me to my next question: is what is the biggest blunder and what is the biggest breakthrough you've had this week or in the last 2 weeks?
This week. The week just started
Last week.
last week. I don't know. It's hard to tell because after like December last year,
Mhm.
I went through longest burnout of my life. I just like touched the bottom, like literally.
Mhm.
I survived December. I survived January. I survived February. March was terrible. April was terrible. May, June was terrible. It was like so bad that I didn't have even energy to get out from my bed.
Mm. Yeah.
I couldn't look at Twitter. I couldn't look at Slack. Everything was pissing me off. Summer clients hit in, and summer clients are different.
Yeah.
um, we have also a few like tense situation with two clients,
Mhm.
and I also moved in March. I took everything on my head, and I was down, like super down, and
Mm.
I didn't even celebrate our 1 million ARR. I'm waiting to two to celebrate it actually. So everything that I was doing was such a pain, and I just didn't want to do it anymore, and like it was like terrible month in my life, and I just couldn't like escape this.
Yep.
And it was like new day, and I was like, oh my god, this feeling again. Oh my god, this
New
feeling.
day, same shit.
And I was like, no, it will not. It will stay like this forever. Like there is no like I have no more joy from this.
Yeah.
And someday, like one day, Elias messaged me like, would you be up to for a coffee? And I was like, the last thing I want to do. But dude is so nice.
He is
And I
amazing.
and I was like, okay, let's do it. And I remember I had like vet appointment at that day with my dog, and I was going back, and I stuck in traffic, and I was like, oh, I will be like, maybe I will message him. Then oh my I will not make
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't know, something changed after our talk. We were talking for 2 or 3 hours, something like this. Super nice, super good talk,
yeah.
and something changed. I don't know, I started to think like I was thinking a lot every day about different stuff, but my thinking changed a bit, and since then I started to trying to take a joy from what I have noticed some stuff
Mm-hmm.
as well at Bake, because when you're running agency or product or whatever every day, you started noticing stuff that might be interesting for others, like you
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel you talking about the same thing all over again. So for example, for me, that we keep our leads close, or how we manage clients, or that we use Slack, we don't need any other management platform. For me it's normal, like it's day-to-day life, nothing special. And you
Yeah.
forget that it might be interesting insight for others.
Mm-hmm.
So, or no contracts, only Stripe, no
Yeah.
calls. Like for me, it's daily thing. For other people, no.
Yeah.
So you forget that it might be interesting. You forget about sharing wins. You forgot at some point, if you would go through my Twitter, you
Mm-hmm.
would see that at some point I was sharing only like downside. There was
Right, right,
nothing
right.
positive on
Yeah,
my Twitter.
yeah,
Like it was like depression profile and so and at some point I was like, okay, no, let's learn again how to be there, how to have fun, how
yeah,
to enjoy running agency, how to enjoy different stuff. And since then I'm trying to not
yeah,
have like downs, and only have fun, just have fun. This
yeah,
is my goal.
yeah.
If I don't have fun, I just like take a
Break.
break in terms of like with dogs watching something. Sometimes I frustrate that I can like I want to get this and this done for bake or for uncover, and I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
not today. And it's
yeah.
frustrating, but it's important because my biggest goal is to not be in the stage I was
Mm,
earlier
yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
yeah.
And for me, like every time I end week happy, this is the biggest win for me.
That is awesome. You start optimizing for fun and your mental health, which is the best
Yes.
thing to do out there. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you for sharing that because I think a lot of indie hackers out there who are working alone or even with co-founders feel that sometimes and they just want to get rid of that feeling and they're always running and they're always like looking at the next thing that needs to be done. And so I think I also had that phase like a couple weeks ago. So now like hearing that makes me feel not so alone. So thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. And Elias is always like the sun, like making
He
people
is
feel
he is
warm
like,
and happy. So I love that. I love that. And I know I can go on. I have so many more questions, but I know that you have an appointment to
oh
get to,
my, I need to go.
and I want to be respectful of your time. And I would love to have you back, have another conversation whenever possible. Once your, tooth flare up has
Yes.
gone down and you're feeling much better. But thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for coming on today. I had so much fun.
Thank
And I
you.
don't know if you listen to the pod My First Million, but they always end with that's the pod. So I'm gonna end with that as well.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex.